Hello everyone, your daily shot of internet. Enjoy!
Hello, everyone. My name is Alan, and I live what you would call a normal life. I'm not overly joyed, happy, but I'm not sad either. I just live a normal life. I'm married, my wife Amy, and we have a little girl. Uh, the place where I've worked for the last 9 years is just 4 blocks up the street from our condominium, so that works out well. And most mornings I just walk to work. And as I start out, I just go up 1 block, and over on my left, there's a hot dog vendor who sells some really good hot dogs. But of a morning, he sells bagels and hot coffee. So lots of times I've stopped there and got a bagel and coffee to carry to work with me and sit and eat at my desk. If you go on up 2 blocks on the right, there's a pizzeria who has some of the best Italian slices you've ever had. And then from there, there's the crosswalk, which the light catches me every day. And as I stand there, waiting for the little man to turn green, signaling to me that I can cross the road safely, I always look at there's a big wooden pole on the corner. Now, it's not an electric pole or a telephone pole, it's just a wooden pole. There's no wires on it, no electric wires or phone wires or cable wires. But it's a pole where everyone posts things from around the neighborhood. You know, like if someone has lost a dog or a puppy, they'll post it on there. Or someone maybe has a car for sale, or someone's selling clothes, or maybe somebody's looking for something, they'll put a post asking, looking for such and such, call this number. Well, as I stood there today, I was thinking about a post that I had seen a week ago. A week ago, when I was looking at the post, I noticed there was a flyer on it, and it said, "Happiness in a jar." And then it said, "Take a number and call." And the bottom of the page was cut into slits, and each one had a phone number wrote on it. You could just tear one off. So I looked, and it was still hanging there. And I thought, well, and as the little man turned green, I made my way across the street. I was thinking, happiness in a jar. What would that be? Is this some new way that they sell drugs and that's their code? They call it happiness in a jar? I don't know. But anyway, I went on to work, and I sat down at my computer, and I admit my job gets a little boring, punching numbers into a computer all day long. But I had been working hard all week, and today I got finished up by lunchtime. And it being a Friday afternoon, I thought, well, I'll just knock off right now, go home, and have a long weekend. I had my work done, and the bosses, they didn't really care. As long as your work was done was all they cared about. And I was done, so I went ahead and finished up for today. But since it was 4 hours before I normally get off, I was in no hurry, so I wandered out of the building and started to make my way down the sidewalk toward home. And there was lots of people coming and going, passing. I made it to the crosswalk and waited and got across. Then I remembered the post about happiness in a jar. And I looked, and it was still hanging there. So I thought, I think I'll call it. I ain't got nothing else to do. So I pulled off one of the little pieces of paper and pulled out my cell phone, and I dialed the number. A lady answered it with a real cheerful voice. "Hello," she said. I said, I'm calling about a post I seen, happiness in a jar." "Oh, yes, yes." She said, "I have happiness in a jar. Are you interested?" And I said, "Well, I really don't know. I'm wondering what it is." And she said, Well, she said, I would need to show you. Uh, could you meet me somewhere right now? And I will show you what it is. And since I had nothing else to do, I thought, sure. So I told her, I said, yeah, I can meet with you right now. And she asked where I was at, and I told her, and she said, how about we meet in the back of the pizzeria, because she'd be driving. She said a silver Camry, and she said, and she would meet me in the parking lot. And I said, that's fine. So I walked back to the parking lot and just kind of stood around and on my phone, scrolling through it, looking at apps and different things, when I seen a silver Camry pull into the lot. It pulled into a parking place, and this little blonde-headed young woman, she looked like maybe 23, 24 years old, got out with a big smile on her face, and I kind of halfway waved. And she said, Alan? And I said, yes. She said, hi. She said, come on over, and I'll show you what it is. I walked over, and she reached back into her car, and out of a brown paper bag, she pulled out a little pint mason jar is what it looked like. And she handed it to me. And when she handed it to me, I looked at it, and there was a light inside of it. But it wasn't a light bulb. It was just like it glowed from the inside. And as I turned it around, I could see no source of the light except for it glowed. And she said, that's happiness in a jar. And I said, well, how much is it? And she said, well, since you seem like you could use some happiness, I'm going to let you have it for free. And I stammered, well, thank you, I appreciate it. She said, okie dokie. She jumped back in her car and she started backing out, but then she stopped and she hollered, oh, do you still have my number? She said, the one that you called? And I said, yeah. I said, it's in my phone. She said, if you have any trouble, just give me a call. And I said, okay. She said, have a great day. And she drove away. And I'm left standing there holding a mason jar that's glowing. And I thought, wonder what this is. So anyway, I stuck it in my coat pocket and made my way back around to the front and down the sidewalk. When I got down to the hot dogs stand, I said, hey, Sam, good afternoon. He just kind of looked at me funny. And you know, that's not like him because he's really a friendly person. But he looked at me like he didn't know me. But I didn't think much about it because, you know, we all have a bad day. So maybe he was having one. I went on and I went into our building. I made it up to our condominium and I started feeling around in my pockets and I couldn't find my keys. So then I realized I've left the keys laying on my desk. So here I go, making my way back out of the building and up the sidewalk. I get back up the sidewalk and I make it to the red light. And again, I'm standing there waiting on the little man to turn green so I can cross. It finally does, and I make it over to my building, and I reach in my pocket to pull out my key card because it has a key card to open the door, and I can't find it. I've left that on my desk too, I guess. So I just press the intercom, and the security guard says, may I help you? I said, yeah, this is Alan. I work in the building. Could you buzz me in? He says, sure I can, Alan. Just tell me your security pass number. I said, okay, my number is, the number's, I couldn't remember my number. So I told him, I'm sorry, but I can't remember what the number is right now. I said, can you just look up my name in the registry? And he said, okay, what's your last name? I said, Alan Johnson. I've worked here 9 years. He said, just one moment, please. So I was standing there waiting. In a few minutes, he come back and he said, sir? I said, yes. He said, I'm sorry, but there's no Alan Johnson that works in this building. I said, I work in the computer data entry office. Would you please check again? And he said, just a minute. In a few minutes, he come back and he said, sir, there's no record of Alan Johnson working there. I'm sorry. What is going on? I thought. I've worked here 9 years, and now they don't know me? What am I going to do? So I turned around and started stumbling down the sidewalk, thinking, what's going on? And I thought, well, I'll just go back to my building and wait for Amy to arrive. So I made it back to our condominium and made it up to our door. And I don't know why, for some reason, I just reached out and tried the handle just to make sure it was locked. And as I jiggled the handle, the door flew open. This big blonde-headed 6'2", looked like bodybuilder opened the door and said, "Can I help you, bud?" I said, stuttered, and I said, "I live here. Who are you?" He said, "Sorry, bud. I don't know who you are, but I've lived here for 2 years. I don't know what you own, but you're at the wrong place." And then he shut the door in my face. What? I don't live here. I wandered back downstairs and I thought, what is going on? I don't live here. My job don't know who I am. So I just started wandering down the sidewalk. And I was trying to think, what am I going to do? And I thought, I'll call my wife. And so I pulled out my cell phone, clicked on the contacts, and then I thought, what's her name? What's my wife's name? I couldn't remember my wife's name. And I started scrolling through the contacts, and I didn't see a number that looked familiar. I couldn't call her, so... And as I was trying to think, I realized I couldn't even remember what my wife looks like. Am I married? I thought we had a daughter, but now I'm not so sure. What's going on? I made my way over to the park, and as I stumbled around trying to figure out what was going on, my job don't know me, my condominium is no longer mine. I can't remember if I'm married or not. Do I have a daughter? What's my wife's name? I couldn't remember nothing. This is awful. It's like my whole life has been erased. Just in an instant, everything has changed. And then I remembered the little jar in my pocket with the light glowing in it. And I remembered what the girl said. If you have any problems, give me a call. I jerked up my cell phone again. And though I couldn't remember the number, I just punched redial from the last number that I had dialed. And the girl answered. "Hello," she said. And I said, "This is, I couldn't remember my own name. Oh my God, what's going on?" And she says, "Mr. Johnson, is that you?" And I said, I think so. I'm not sure. I can't remember nothing." And she said, "Do you still have the little jar?" And I felt down in my pocket and I said, "Yes." She said, "Take it out. Smash it on the ground." And I said, "What?" She said, "Bust it." And the line disconnected. So I'm holding the jar and I'm looking at it. I raise my arm back and I sling it down to the pavement and it shatters, and a blinding flash of light streaks out. Lights up everything. I can't see nothing now but light. And I rub my eyes, and when my vision finally clears, I look and I'm laying in my bed, and my wife Amy kisses me and says, "Good morning, dear." And our daughter Caitlin comes running in and jumps on the bed and says, "Good morning, Daddy." I've never been so happy in my life. Happiness in a jar made me realize my life wasn't just plain. It was perfect. I had everything I ever wanted, and I had just forgotten, but it reminded me